Hi guys, welcome to another installment of Danny Has an Opinion About Everything. I wanted to tell you a little bit about vegetarianism and my road towards it, if you will. A couple of months ago I decided to reduce my meat intake. Just eat it occasionally when I go out to a restaurant or to the uni canteen, anything like that. Which has turned into me eating barely any meat at all. I'd like to call myself a vegetarian, but I'm not quite there yet. I've got quite a few dietary restrictions, so I'm giving myself a pass whenever there's nothing on the menu otherwise that I could eat. So it does happen that I eat meat, fish, or anything like that occasionally. I'm also not gonna restrict myself. If I get a real hankering for some bacon, I'm gonna get myself some bacon. I do think becoming a vegetarian or a vegan is a good thing to do, both for environmental and ethical reasons. No matter how much the animals were coddled through their lifetime, they're still gonna end up at the same slaughterhouse, and there's no distinction made there. And we've all seen or heard about the horrors that go on dairy and chicken farms. Whether you like it or not, with the products you buy, you support and finance the meat and dairy industry. It's a heavy weight to bear, and I for one have every respect for people who make a personal choice to shed themselves of that weight by adjusting their diet. I used to be incredibly judgmental about vegetarians. If they only gave up on meat, but still ate gummy bears and cheese made with rennet, so products that animals still had to die for, I'd label them hypocrites and pseudo-vegetarians. Same thing with vegans that cared oh so much about animal cruelty, but couldn't care less about the low-wage workers at Aldi where they bought all their vegetables. But yeah, it is a slippery slope. Whichever way you turn, it's really hard to avoid supporting unfairness and cruelty, be it towards animals or people. And sometimes veganism, as ethical as it may be, harms people a lot. As is the case, for example, with quinoa, that has become so popular with vegans and health foodies that Bolivian farmers who use quinoa as a staple food can no longer afford it. This is something very important to consider and not just forego because it's people and not animals, which is all you care about. Another aspect that's incredibly important to me: sure, it's entirely possible to shop organic, local, seasonal, or even be completely self-sufficient. But not everybody has the opportunity or energy to do so. Disabled people exist. Poor people exist. Poor disabled people exist. And if it's easier for them to be meat eaters or to shop at Aldi exclusively, friggin' let them. The people that make a willing choice toward veganism or vegetarianism or just try to be more ethical in their consumption, let them have their baby steps. Veganism and vegetarianism should be a personal choice and not something that you mercilessly judge other people by. I think the moral of the story is that none of us are completely ethical consumers. We may want to get there, but it's really, really important to accept that all of us are hypocrites to some extent, and we can't make other people's choices for them. We may want to raise awareness, but the wrong way to go about that is to just label every single meat eater, or vegetarian even, as killers and animal abusers. That's just not gonna help anyone. Right, those were my 2 cents on vegetarianism. Chances are I'm gonna completely scrap all these plans and just suddenly become a full-blown meat eater again in the matter of 2 months or something, but I'm gonna try not to be. Maybe it will stick this time. Why don't you tell me down in the comments what you think about the whole shebang, if you have any other thoughts on veganism and vegetarianism and healthy eating and conscious and ethical eating. I'm really, really interested to discuss this with people because that's all I've been doing in the past couple of months actually. If you like this video, the usual thing, please give me a thumbs up. As usual, you're probably tired of hearing this. And if you're not tired of this, why don't you hit subscribe and see me again next week? Until then, maybe try to be an ethical consumer and take care. Bye bye.